Here are 5 makeup tips from a makeup artist you have to try if you want to have more fun with makeup. Let's begin. First, if your summer tan has faded and your foundation suddenly looks too orange, just add a tiny bit of light lavender, pink, or purple pigment and mix it in. I always customize my foundations by mixing them with the liquid blushes just to adjust the undertone. How does it work? So orange and yellow tones become more neutral when you mix in a small amount of cool pink or lavender pigment. You are not making the foundation just lighter, you are simply shifting the undertone so it matches your skin again. I usually choose liquid blushes with a white base. They don't create a gray or muddy effect, and because they are already diluted with a white pigment, they gently shift the undertone without making the foundation look overly saturated. And I'm obsessed with this Radiant foundation. Just look at this glow. Wow. I didn't do any skin prep at all because I wanted to show you how beautiful the finish looks on bare skin. And compare the final color to the foundation straight from the bottle. Actually, it matched me perfectly after my summer vacation by the sea, but now it's simply too dark and too warm. So try this hack and let me know how it works for you. Just don't add too much at once. You can easily end up with a pink face. Next tip. Most of us faced with that annoying white cast around the eyebrows after doing our makeup, right? So it usually happens because we apply brow marker, pencil, powder, or gel just right on top of the foundation or concealer. Remove any leftover foundation, concealer, primer, or skincare from your eyebrows first, whatever you used before. So then go in with your brow marker and fill only the empty areas. Use light hair-like strokes and keep the brows soft and airy, not blocky. And now look at your brow gel wand. Mine has 4 working sides. Start with the long bristles and brush the thicker hairs upward at about 45-degree angle. Then rotate the wand and use the shorter bristles to brush in the same direction. They grab and set the smaller hairs much better. And just don't press it too hard or you might remove the marker or pencil underneath. Next tip. Customize your own blush and bronzer. I've been obsessed with this blush shade lately, but I also love how cream products melt into the skin. So I simply scrape a little powder blush onto the mirror and you can mix 2, 3 or even more shades. If you enjoy experimenting with the makeup, why not, right? Then add a drop of skincare. I usually use a serum because it's thinner and more fluid than the moisturizer. Mix everything together. You can do this on the back of your hand, a mirror, or even a compact lid. It really doesn't matter. Everything wipes off easily with a paper towel or damp tissue. Then apply it to your cheeks. Sometimes I use a brush, sometimes just my fingertips. Both techniques work beautifully. You can build up the color gradually or keep it as a one soft sheer layer. I love this shade. It's perfect for my slightly tanned skin. Scrape a little bronzer onto the mirror, add 1 drop of serum and mix. Here's another little trick. Mix in a tiny bit of the leftover blush. It creates the smoothest transition between your blush and bronzer, especially if you're a beginner. I'll apply it with my brush. Choose a slightly smaller synthetic brush because synthetic bristles work beautifully with the cream and liquid textures. Apply it under the cheekbones, along the jawline. Blend into the neck, around the temples, across the forehead, near the hairline, and maybe lightly along the sides of the nose. So that's it. Next beauty tip. If your lipstick feels too bright, but you prefer deeper, more muted shades, this hack is for you. This color isn't really my cup of tea. I usually reach for darker lip shades. But if you've already bought a bright lipstick, don't worry. Just add the tiniest amount of black pigment and mix them together. Here's the color theory behind it. Black reduces the value and saturation of the color. Instead of making the lipstick brighter, it deepens it, creating richer burgundy wine or muted berry tones, depending on the original shade. So you are not covering the color, you are customizing it. And it's exactly the same principle professional makeup artists use in lip mixology. instead of buying 10 different lipsticks, you can create dozens of custom shades by adjusting depth, undertone, and saturation yourself. And the final result depends on the proportion of each color, the quality and strength of the pigments, and the formula. Matte lipsticks, glosses, and liquid lipsticks will all behave differently. Next hack, eyeliner wings. Look straight into the mirror. Relax your eyebrows. Follow your lower lash line to find the direction of your wing. Then forget about the very tip of the wing for a second. Instead, move about 1 millimeter lower, connect it to your lash line, and fill in the little triangle first. If you have enough lid space, stamp the liner along the lash line. And don't stretch your skin, and don't try to draw the whole line in one heavy stroke. Also, don't leave the wing thick like this. It makes the eyes look heavier. Let's do it one more time. Take a small angled brush. Mine is attached to my waterproof eye pencil, so it's basically a 2-in-1. Gently stamp the brush onto the skin. Short, light movements, stamp, and lift. Repeat a few times, and you can stamp right under the creases or even across the creases. It does matter, and this is just our guide for lifting the outer corner. That's it. Only after that, lift your eyebrows and draw the thinnest line you possibly can. And I don't start from the tip of the wing. I begin about 1/3 of the way in, and then I fill the tiny triangle and connect everything together. That's it. But the moment I start talking to someone taller than me, my wing breaks. And that's completely normal. Your skin moves. That's just anatomy. And so if you are doing your makeup for an event, I actually recommend a slightly less lifted wing and a little more elongation. So the first touch is exactly the same. Follow the lower lash line. But instead of going upward, go a little more horizontally. Again, ignore the tip of the wing at first and connect it to your lash line. Even out the line using small steppy motions. One stamp after another, slowly, and this version is more horizontal, less curved, more elegant, and a little less dramatic. For my eye shape, I'd call this my classic eyeliner, but on another eye shape, this exact technique could look much more elongated. And here's another option. This one is softly blended exactly where the wing usually creases or breaks. Start by stamping your pencil into the outer corner, just like I'm showing you here, and then take a small angled brush and sketch the lower guideline of your future wing. Keep the tip slightly lower and more horizontal. Then slowly connect it back to your lash line. Notice the angle right where your eye bone meets your eyeball. So the pencil you stamped down early already shows you exactly where your wing would normally crease. Trust the process. At first, it honestly looks a little messy. I know, that's completely normal. Once you've created the sketch, fill in the shape, deepen the color, and softly blend the edges. So that's it. As soon as the black or brown pigment builds up, you'll finally see the full picture. And then step back from the mirror. So one eyeliner looks lighter and more delicate. The other puts more depth in the out corner and elongates the eye. So which one do you prefer? And the last makeup tip. If you naturally have pigmented lips and you've tried the viral Milky Pink lip combo, you've probably noticed that it just looks like you are wearing a light pink gloss. Still pretty, but that's not that actually Milky Pink effect. So here's what to do. First, completely neutralize your natural lip color. Use a full coverage concealer, and I'm using the same concealer I used to cover blemishes. Today I'm actually using my eyebrow pencil. The goal isn't to make your lips brown. We just need a cool tone line that separates the lips from the surrounding skin. Gray tones imitate natural shadows and making the lips appear fuller. So you can just keep it very subtle or build a little more depth. The important part is blending that color inward to create a soft gradient. If your lips feel too washed out without your natural pink tone, totally understandable. You've seen that color every day of your life. Just tap a little bit of pink into the center of the lips. Then finish with a Milky Pink gloss. By the way, you can also blend the edges using the applicator from the lip gloss itself. If we looked at these 5 beauty tips separately, For this lip look, I would pair it with a very soft eye makeup and cool tone blush for sure. The lips become the main focus. What do you think? This version is actually very old school. I wore it back when I was at university, and I'm pretty sure my mom wore something similar during her university years too. So trends really do come back every 20 years. The textures change, the products improve, but the final effect stays surprisingly similar. So that's it for today. Let me know which makeup tip you are going to try first. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye!